In lesson 6-12, we're dividing decimals again. In today's problems, you'll notice that both numbers have decimals in them instead of just the one. Since we know how to divide when there's only one decimal in one of the numbers, we're going to try and make sure that the divisor is a whole number so that we can divide just like we did in lesson 6-11. So we're going to move the decimal one time so it's out of the number. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. It's just like finding equivalent fractions. Whatever you do to the top, you must do to the bottom. So we move the decimals over one time for each, and I come up with an equivalent problem of 46 8/10 divided by the whole number 13. You can see that my divisor is a whole number now, 13, and that's exactly what we need. You'll keep moving the decimal until you have the divisor, the second number, as a whole number. Now we're going to find an estimate for this equivalent problem, and we're going to start with the second number since it's dividing. We'll circle the 1, look back, and we have a 3, so that tells me to let it rest as 1, and the 3 changes to a 0. Now I'm going to think of multiples of 10 to try to get as close to 46 as I can. And 50 is the closest, so 50 divided by 10 equals 5. We'll look back at the estimate towards the end to help us put the decimal in the answer. Now we're going to use the equivalent problem and divide it as if it were whole numbers and show all of my work on the graph paper. So we'll put 468 inside the box, 13 goes outside, and we'll divide from there. My first guess is going to be 20. 20 times 13, that's 260. And then subtract, and I get 208. My next guess, I can't use 20 again because it's too big, so I'll do 10. 10 times 13 is 130. We'll subtract and get 78. 10 is too big, so I'll use 5. 5 times 13, 65. And I get 13, so I'm going to use one more and subtract, and I get 0 as a remainder. Ooh, nice and easy. So now I'm going to add up the whole numbers on the side and get my answer of 36. Now I'll use my estimate to help me place the decimal in 36. Estimate is 5, so the closest I can get is by putting the decimal right behind the 3 for 3 6/10. Next, your workbook asks for an equivalent problem with the answer. So you're going to use the equivalent problem that you wrote up here and rewrite it with the answer that we just got, 3 6/10. You'll need to remember that equivalent means equal to, so because we found the answer to the equivalent problem, it's also the same exact answer as the original problem before we move the decimals. So 3 6/10 is our answer for both of those because they are equivalent.